Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save.
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode. It's another end of season today. The seasons are getting a little bit short with us not doing fantastically well in Europe. Of course, this is only the second episode this season. Next season I might look to change it up and do something a little bit different, but we are at the end of the season. Of course, last time out we were knocked out of the Champions League on penalties by Chelsea. A little bit disappointing, but we have won the league title again this season. Only just though. Only just. If we have a look at the championship phase, we won it on goal difference. And we won it on the last day of the season as well, if we have a quick look. We thumped Spartak Varna 6-0. Levski Sofia slipped up at home against Boro, which was a little bit disappointing from their point of view. They were on for the title at that stage by 3 points. We've had a bit of a poor season in terms of the league. There's been quite a few losses, you know, Spartak Varna, Levski. Earlier on in the season, we dropped points to Ludogorets. You know, it's been pretty poor, to be fair. And even the last part of the season where we've dropped points here, there, and sort of everywhere else. But Levski have clearly had a bit of a poor running, losing to CSK and then to Boro on the final day of the season has not done them any favours. But like I say, it is at the end of the season, guys, so quick review of the season. £113 million in the bank, £50 million next season for the transfer budget. It says 23.6, but I think it will stay at that. Obviously we're a little bit committed to be over the wage budget as things stand. We do have some players coming in, as you can see here. There's quite a few of them, so we're looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. We're pretty much, you know, trying to build the squad now. So we've got players like this coming in. Oscar Navarro as a new striker. He's coming in from Athletic Club Bilbao, so he's going to be a new striker. Obviously, we're going to be looking to potentially flip some players as well, move some on. We're getting this guy on a free transfer. In fact, they're all free transfers, to be fair. Thomas Exposito from Real Madrid as a left-sided midfielder, because there's going to be a little bit of a tweak to tactics and stuff like that as well going into next season. Anyway, we are here, first of all, to do the end of the season review. It was a treble-winning season, which was very, very nice. There wasn't too many new players this season, but the star signing, according to the board, has been Germano Nane, a free transfer from RZ. He's 32, but he's classed as an elite striker. Still got some very good attributes for a 32-year-old. You know, his pace hasn't quite dropped off yet. He's good flair play off the ball. He is a very, very good player, and he's had a decent season. Probably a little bit underutilised, to be fair. And he's pretty much the one who's made the most appearances. Abbas Ansari did make some early on in the season before picking up an injury. A decent attacking midfield, 30-year-old German. But, you know, when we've got David Royo in that position, who, by the way, David Royo is looking absolutely fantastic now, then, you know, Ansari's not going to get much game time. But yeah, that's the ins outs. There was a few. Was there a big one this season? No, there wasn't a big one this season. Tabian Barga's the biggest one at £3.8 million to Everton. Has he featured for Everton? He's played 7 times for them, so no, not really. Not really. Not really. We also, Andrea Veneri went out to PSG. He was unhappy, so I just let him go to PSG. Got his wages off the books, things like that. Anyway, season results. We did win the championship. We were 4 points behind Levski going into the championship group. Average attendance of 18,770, which is 96% full. Stoyan Orichev picking up the top goal scorer. Again, another one who's still developing very, very nicely. Still only 18 years old. So we're looking, you know, to keep improving Stoyan. Be nice if we could make a little bit of an appearance in the Champions League for us, though. But yeah, homegrown as well. Came through our youth academy. So Champions League, of course, we did have a good run in the Champions League before losing eventually to Chelsea on penalties. Like I said, David Royo, the top scorer in that. We won the cup without even drawing a game, which is a fantastic. Fernando Baron, top goal scorer in that one. And then we did beat Septembri Sofia right at the start of the season in the Super Cup to Bulgaria. 1-0 in that one. Moments to remember, the biggest win was that final day win over Spartak Varna. Match to remember, a 2-1 victory over Inter with a 92nd minute winner there coming from David Royo. Goal of the season this season goes to Elias, a memorable goal from the central midfielder as he dribbles from inside the Chernomor Varna half before scoring a deftly executed finish from 22 metres. So financially, we're doing well. The club's reputation is staying the same, but I don't think this updates until the new season ticks over. I could be wrong. No new sponsorship deals. Sponsorship is up slightly though. Broadcast revenues down slightly. Corporate hospitality up slightly. Competition money down by about 5 million, but 5 million's not. It's not to be sniffed at. Don't get me wrong. I'd love £5 million, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not too big of a drop in the ocean. Merchandise sales are climbing. Fernando Baron selling the most shirts. 27,500 shirts sold worldwide now. So how we lined up, this is the team of the season. It's going to be Zanis in goal, Sanchez and Lund as the two centre-halves. Lima, Ali Marunga, who I wrongly said in the last episode that we were going to look to renew his contract because nobody's come in for him. I was wrong. He's actually joining Al Ahly at the end of his contract. So we've gone from potentially getting over £100 million for Ali Marungu to losing him on a free transfer, but he's been here for a very long time. Didn't cost us anything. Been a fantastic servant to the club. It's a little bit of a shame that it says that he turned up in the Champions League there, but for me, he just disappeared in games. To be honest, Ali Marungu, 30 years old now. Like it is a bit of a shame not to get a fee for him, but he leaves with our best wishes. It's going to be Lima and Arujo. I'm quite surprised it's not Medina in here. Arujo's 27 years old now. Of course, he was a free transfer from Porto. He's another one who's been very, very good for us. Our two young midfielders, South American midfielders, Diogo Costa, 24 now, on that side. The Brazilian Elias, 21 years old, still got some potential to hit. Hopefully he does. Royo, Baron and Nane as the front three. Not a bit short of goals this season. We are a bit short of goals this season, and that's probably where our stumbling block has been. Club awards though, fans player of the season was Fernando Baron. Young player of the season, Diogo Costa. I think he's still classed as young at 24 years old in Football Manager. I think 25 is where you stop being classed as young. Signing of the season, Germano Nane. Goal of the season, Elias, as we've already discussed. Top goal scorer was Fernando Baron with 20 goals in all competitions. Lima with 12 assists. Lima, another one who's been here for a long time. Still a very good player. Not looking to replace him. Most player of the match awards, Fernando Baron with 6. Lima with the highest average rating, and Ender Sanchez with the most passes completed. We may be looking to move Ender on. He's wanted by a couple of clubs. I don't think we're ever going to get the £36 million back from him. I think we massively overpaid for Ender. I'm not keen on him, to be fair. He's played well for us this season, but his jump and reach isn't great for a central defender. He's not the quickest. He's not slow, but he's not the quickest. So possibly looking to move Ender on and bring in a replacement. We do have a record breaker this season, and that is Rafael Zanis with 23 clean sheets. He's finally beaten Adam Papp's record. So history in the making. A treble again. That takes us to 10 league titles now, which is fantastic. It's a good chunk of money in the bank from coefficient rankings for the Champions League as well. We'll just have a quick look at the coefficients before the season ticks over and sort of see where we're at. So Bdin, this season we've scored 24. We're moving up to 118, so we should move up a couple of places. The likes of City are coming down drastically next season. City have had a shocking season in Europe. PSG, Napoli. PSG we're going to go level with. We're going to go above Dortmund. It's going to be fairly decent for us. Obviously, I'm not going to show the nation coefficients because that kind of gives away the next bit as to how the Bulgarian teams have done, which is what we're going to get into now, guys. So I'll see you again in a minute. Right, so here we are, and here we are with the Champions League, and Bayern Munich beat Barcelona in the final. That's a little bit of a poor result from a Bulgaria point of view. We were starting to close down on the Germans, but they've gone and won the Champions League, which isn't good. Tottenham win the Europa League on extra time over Roma, and it's going to be Brøndby from Denmark winning the Conference League there. So that's a very, very good result for Denmark. Of course, CSK 1948 are the only Bulgarian team to have picked up a European trophy so far in this save, winning the Conference League a couple of seasons ago. So, in terms of coefficients, like I say, we've looked at us. We're going to move up. Bulgaria as a nation, we've had a pretty poor season, only scoring 11.6. It's still more than Portugal. And going into next season, we are actually going to be going above Portugal, but we've got to be wary of Turkey just behind us. The Netherlands not too far behind us. France, though, are the next ones. They've had a decent season, so they're going to be moving sort of 11 points clear of us. We were only 3 behind them. We were closing in on a few of these nations, but Germany have had a good season, so they're moving up. It's kind of disappointing that France, Germany have had a good season. It's good that Portugal have had a bad season, though, and we are going to be moving above Portugal into 6th place, which does give us 2 spots in the league phase straight away and 1 into the League Path playoff as well. So that's 3 Champions League spots next season, or possibly the season after. I could be wrong. We've got 1 into the Europa League phase straight away, so we're actually gaining a European spot, but with 2 straight into the group stage, which is going to be fantastic, and it can only help Bulgaria. In terms of how the actual clubs got on, let's have a look at that now. We'll start off with us. I'll just quickly do the filter. We only want to focus on the European games. Of course, we did lose to Bayern Munich in the opening game, but wins over Inter, Juve, Salzburg, Galatasaray, a draw with Man City, win over Valencia and Bodo Glimt was very, very good. Disappointing to lose 3-2 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, considering we were 2-0 up in that one as well. And then obviously we've beat them at home, but we were knocked out eventually on penalties. I can't remember who missed. It was Orachev and Elias who missed the penalties from a Bdin point of view. So that was disappointing. On to CSK 1948 then, and they were against Odense in the Champions League qualifiers. A 4-0 win on aggregate. They did get knocked out by Rangers, though, disappointingly, which dropped them into the Europa League phase. Defeats to Lazio and Dinamo Zagreb. A little bit disappointing, but wins over Rennes and Nordsjælland. Draw to Hammarby. A defeat to Feyenoord, beg your pardon, but then a win over Ria Arv and a draw with AEK got them into the knockout playoff where they were against Real Sociedad. Unfortunately, they were knocked out on penalties as well. Shock third place finishes last season in Botev Plovdiv. We're in the Europa League phase, straight into it with that third place finish. A win over Midtjylland, defeat to RZ, draw with Roma, which is really, really good. A defeat to Villarreal, a draw with Leeds, which again is fantastic. Wins over Antwerp and Braga. A defeat to Odense, but they did get into the knockout playoff again for the Europa League. So we've had 2 teams in the Europa League knockout playoffs. They actually picked up a win against Bayer Leverkusen in the home leg, but they were absolutely battered in that away leg at the Bayer Arena, unfortunately. So it's still a decent run from a Botev point of view. Levski Sofia next into the Europa League qualifiers as well. A win over Osijek, 4-0 on aggregate. Defeat to Leeds, though they did beat Leeds, but then they lost the away leg 3-0, which dropped them into the Conference League phase, and they've had a bit of a poor showing in there, to be fair. A defeat to Wolfsburg. The only win they've picked up is against Djurgardens. A draw with Amanoia, a defeat to Istanbul Başakşehir, a defeat to Espanyol, and a draw again with Osijek. So they've beat Osijek twice, 2-0 up here, and then drawn with them down here. So they've not done particularly well in the Europa Conference League phase. They've only picked up 5 points there, which was a little bit disappointing. In terms of league phase in the Europa League, of course, we did have 2 go through here, right next to each other as well. Botev and CSK both scoring 11 points, which is okay. It's okay, you know, when you've got a Romanian team up here, it's not that good really. But 11 points is not bad. They qualified. You know, it is what it is. And finally, we have Lokomotiv Sofia. I believe this is the first time they've been in Europe in this save. I could be wrong. They were in the Europa Conference League qualifiers against Universitatea Craiova. I think I've pronounced that right. I've probably butchered it. They are a Romanian team, but they drew away from home before getting beat at home. So not great from a Bulgarian point of view there. We did have a goal scorer in there, though, in Edilio Gavio. He's still on loan at Lokomotiv. He's been there for quite a while now, and he's quite a prolific goal scorer for them, to be fair. So that's disappointing from a a Bulgarian point of view there in terms of locomotive. In terms of the actual teams in Bulgaria, though, in terms of coefficients, of course, we're at the top of that quite comfortably. CSK are doing, reasonably well. They've scored half the points we have this season, though. They had a fantastic season there. That's where they won the Conference League. Ludogorets have dropped off quite a bit. They weren't in Europe last season, which is really, really disappointing from a Ludogorets point of view. Hopefully they can bounce back. And they've actually finished 4th this season, so they have qualified for Europe this season. Barrow seem to be a little bit up and coming. They've had a couple of seasons in Europe recently. I think they've qualified for Europe again in 5th place. They have indeed. They're in the Conference League, so hopefully Barrow can do quite well there. They could be the 5th team that we need to sort of concentrate on. And I don't know who the 6th team's going to be. I don't know when it's going to take place, to be fair. There's a couple of teams have had a good season here, from Croatia, Dinamo Zagreb and Hajduk Split. But yeah, not bad from a Bulgaria point of view. It could be better, though. Could be much, much better, and it has been much, much better as well. So we're going to go forward now until everything ticks over, so we can have a look at where the Bulgarian teams actually stack up. We're 14th, CSK in 27th, which is pretty good. And we'll have a look at this as well once it's ticked over. And here we are, guys. We are back again. Let's have a look at things now they've ticked over. Bdin move up to 10th place. We're above Liverpool. Which, we're above Liverpool, PSG, Napoli, Milan, Juve, City. City have dropped off drastically. CSK are up to 23rd as well. They're above some big, big teams, which is, really good. But we've broken into the top 10 as a club now, which is fantastic. And this one used for revenue, we're up to 17th now. So we should be getting some big, big revenue boosts for that. In terms of CSK, they might have moved up the list as well. Obviously, revenue coming into Bulgaria is all good. They are currently 36th, which is fantastic as well. So they should be getting a decent chunk of money coming in at the end of each season as well from the coefficients. In terms of the nation coefficients, Bulgaria do indeed move up to 6th place. We are set to lose a 15 off the front, though. So we do need to score some quite big points this season. We're currently sat here 11 points behind France. So France is currently the target. But next season, at the minute, we're going to drop down to 57 from our 73. So it's not great, We do need to have a decent season. If we desperately need to stay above Portugal for that extra European spot. But France is the target, and next season, obviously depending on who we're drawn against in the Champions League, if we get some French clubs, we might come back and do the commentaries against the French clubs, because that is who we're chasing down at the end of the day. So that is going to wrap it up, guys. Just a quick end of season review. £102 million in the bank. We've possibly brought some of those signings in already, maybe not. We do have a decent hot prospect at the club, though, on this left wing. He's another one who we paid 1.3 million for him, the Czech in Marek Broz. Bags and bags of potential on that left wing. Hopefully he can match that potential. He's got a resolute personality as well, which is really, really good. He has actually made an appearance in the league and he scored twice for us. Hopefully he hits this potential and keeps going. That's going to wrap us up, though, guys. One last thing, though. The training facilities have degraded as well, apparently, but we've already agreed to upgrade them again, so they go back to state of the art. The youth facilities, there's not an option there for me to do it again, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. We're not too far off 1,000 games now as a manager. 64% win ratio. I will see you next season. We're going to try and do a bit more next season. I know I keep saying that I'm trying to get the episodes out as quickly as I can, but I'm just stupid busy with work and family. And I also I do sim racing. I've mentioned this before. I stream it over on Twitch on the weekends. I'm part of a team as well. We're currently in the middle, or we're just about to start at the time of recording this, a mad season in iRacing. We've got 6 24-hour races in the space of 12 weeks coming up. So I'm kind of focusing on that at the minute. I'm still new to sim racing, so I am doing as much practice as I can, but I am trying to get these out as well. So just have some patience with me, guys. I'm doing my best. Bear in mind, I do this in my spare time, Thank you, guys, though, and I'll see you in the next episode.